At 2 in the morning, while a tired ER resident was looping black thread through the split skin on my forehead, my husband, Luke, updated his Instagram. The photo showed his colleague, Lexi, slouched in the passenger seat of his car, cradling a warm paper cup. His caption was dripping with mock exasperation and cheap affection. Chauffeur duty, round 20. Too drunk to remember where she parked. I swear I don't know what to do with her. It had been posted at 1:30, exactly when my sedan was crumpled on the shoulder of the dark interstate, 30 miles outside the city, and I was clutching a blood-soaked napkin to my brow. Dialing his number for the 33rd time, I had bargained with God in the dark. I told myself that if he answered just once, I would turn down the massive promotion at our Chicago headquarters. I would stay here, in Boston, and fight for our marriage. But he never answered. He only sent a single clinical text. Lexi is too drunk to get home safe. I'll be back later. Be good. He was terrified for Lexi's safety. He had no idea I was stranded on a pitch-black stretch of highway with a shattered windshield and a head wound. In our single year of marriage, he had played late-night chauffeur for Lexi 20 times. I had worked late 68 times. He had never picked me up once. My mind drifted back to the worst of those nights, when a drunk stranger had cornered me in our office's underground parking garage. I'd been so terrified I'd locked myself in my car and called the police. At the station, the female officer had looked at me with deep pity and asked, "Where is your husband, sweetie? Why isn't he here?" I had forced a polite, empty smile. "He's slammed at work. I can handle it." Yes, I could handle it. In 7 days, I would board a one-way flight to Chicago. The divorce papers waiting on my laptop were simply the final, quiet surrender. At 2:30, I finally pushed open our front door. I pulled off my heavy knit beanie, exposing the stark white gauze taped over my temple. The wound throbbed with a dull, sickening rhythm. The living room lights were blazing. Luke was sitting on the edge of the coffee table, a wet microfiber cloth in his hand, meticulously dabbing at a stain on a delicate silk scarf. Hearing the door, he looked up, a familiar crease forming between his brows. "Why are you working so late?" Then his eyes caught the bandage and he froze. "What happened to your head?" "I bumped it," I said, my voice entirely flat. "How are you so careless?" He didn't ask how I had bumped it. I looked at the women's scarf in his hands and felt too exhausted to explain. An hour ago, I had been rear-ended by a hit-and-run driver on a dark highway, my face slammed into the steering wheel. I had called him 33 times, and he had been cleaning silk. "You picked up Lexi tonight?" I asked, watching his face. Luke's expression remained perfectly innocent. He lifted the scarf slightly. "Yeah, her department was entertaining clients. She's young, got pressured into drinking too much. She couldn't even find her car in the dark. If I didn't go and something happened to her, I'd never forgive myself. The company wouldn't either." He paused, looking down at the fabric. "She ruined her scarf when she got sick. I brought it back to see if I could save it." He had thought of everything for her. He treated her cheap silk with more tenderness than he treated my life. "I called you 33 times, I said. My voice was so calm it surprised me. Luke blinked, pulling his phone from his pocket. He stared at the screen, a flicker of genuine guilt crossing his face. "I'm sorry, Novia. I was driving and I didn't want to get distracted, so I put it on silent. Next time you work late, let me know. I'll come get you." Next time, in a year, he had driven Lexi 20 times because it wasn't safe for a girl. For my 68 late nights, his only contribution had been a text telling me to be careful. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I simply walked past him toward the bedroom. "Get some rest."